This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Yeah, so this is one of those things that it's not easy to do. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable. Sometimes it takes courage, but when you do it, it invariably turns into a win. And that is knowing when to walk away from a situation. Know when it's time to go. We're going to talk about that today. How to know and what can come from the other side of that. She is somebody that coaches, helps us develop ourselves and move transformation along faster. This is a great topic today because right away I'm getting pictures of situations in the past where either I didn't walk away as soon as I could have or should have, or didn't at all, and how much maybe things would have been better. Cindy Valente joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Steve. How are you?
Good, good. They're very interesting. What we're going to dig into today.
All right.
Where do you think the courage, the confidence, the faith comes from in knowing when it's time to walk away, or is it just after time you get better at that?
I think after time you get better at it for sure, and you see the wins from when you did walk away. I mean, I think we've all walked away with a win, not realizing it, and we've all walked away when it was too late or there was no win. But walking away doesn't always mean you lost. Sometimes it means you noticed you were still standing, still capable, still clear, and you chose to leave before you had to prove your strength the hard way. This isn't about giving up. It's about recognizing the moment you're whole and trusting yourself to go while it still counts as a win.
So let's look at a couple of, before we go into the mechanics of the walk away, how about a couple of examples of where we might want to walk away?
All right. So I think I picked some things that resonated with me. Let's say your job. So things you might want to move away from, jobs that once felt secure, but now feel heavy. You know, a job can look good on paper, but your body knows your mind catches up before your mind catches up. You're not miserable. You're not tired, but you're really tired. You don't realize how tired you are. But it's not about the effort. You're not tired because of your effort. It's about misalignment. That's usually where the questioning starts, very quietly. So I hear this all the time. Don't let the Sunday scaries become normal.
Say that again.
Don't let the Sunday scaries become normal.
How do you mean?
I hear so a lot of people the corporate C-suite people, you know, the Monday through Friday, it doesn't really matter what day of the week, but on Sunday night before the work week, everybody is stressed out. Their mind is spinning. They can't focus on relaxing and enjoying their weekend. So it's called the Sunday scaries.
Yeah. And if you have them, I would think it's time to consider walking away.
Right. If they become, you know, something that you go through more often than just perhaps a situation where that week is particularly difficult or you have an upcoming, you know, presentation or something big is coming. But yeah, I think if it becomes a habit where your weekends are becoming derailed because of you don't want to go into work or you've got situations you're not comfortable with, absolutely, it's time to go. And, you know, there's right ways to do it and wrong ways, obviously. And you have to pick the ones that take ownership of your own decisions. You do not need permission. You know, respect yourself enough to know.
Yeah, I'm thinking here also that one of the reasons why we don't walk away when we should is fear of change, right?
Oh, 100%. You know, that's a very big deal. And these things that we're going to talk about today are all big, you know, your job, friendships, relationships, you know, but they don't need to be as big as we make them. And I think that's the beauty of walking away before it becomes a bigger deal. A confrontation, a disrespect, things that you'll say you may regret. Walking away with the win saves everybody, saves face, I guess, if you will.
I am thinking of all these scenarios. There are so many with the walk away. Either when you did, or you took too long, or you never walked away. I mean, this past 6 months, I walked away from two business side situations. Um, should have done it. One of them, then you should never should on yourself.
Right.
But I waited longer on one, mostly because it was uncomfortable and it
Hmm.
was just different visions of myself and somebody else I was working with. And it all worked out fine. It actually worked out really well. And another one, it ran its course. It was okay. But even going back decades ago, I was at a broadcast position for almost 3 decades since I was a kid, literally. And it started changing the direction of the radio station, and it wasn't aligning with me. Um, Truth be told, they were going in a more rude and crude direction. I'm not doing that. Not my thing. Um,
Good for you.
it was uncomfortable because this is what I knew since I was a kid. It took time, but I remember after them offering me jobs in nearby states, and it was a parallel move. It didn't make sense. I woke up on a Monday and I said, "Wednesday's your last day," and I walked away. But it took time. And actually, another job, even more recent in the last, 5, 8, not more than that, probably 8 years. I walked away from one where it just didn't. It kind of gnaws at you. It's just like, it's like, okay, all right, all right. Your brain says, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then you put more time into it. It is very liberating when you do it, though, isn't it?
It is very liberating, but there's a lot of, um, I guess, posturing, if you will, to
Mm,
get to that place where you say, okay, I'm doing this, because the what ifs, you can make
yeah.
a pro and con list, you can do all those things, but in the back of your mind, you have to be at complete peace with your decision because it is a final one. It doesn't have to be final in with a person, but if you can step away from the situation and walk away from that situation, you may run into them down the road, but be ready to walk away without burning a bridge.
Is there a universal procedure for walking away?
I don't think so. I think it's all very personal. It depends on how deep the person is involved with the relationship, the career, the work. I think it just depends on how deep in you are.
Hmm.
For me, I mean, it's tenure. I mean, like you walking away from a job, a 30-year career, it's a long time. That's a big decision, a
Yeah.
life-changing decision.
Yeah. Oh, and there's, I'm going to say collateral damage, but there's things around it to be considered. Paying the bills, family. What am I going to do next? And at that time, again, truth be told, at that time, I had just done a renovation on my house, and my son was born, and he was a few months old.
Oh.
Now what? But the plus is, we always look at the negatives, look at the pluses in that particular situation. And I'm just using it as an example. I had 6 months severance.
Right.
So I had padding.
That's a
So
beautiful place to be.
yeah. So, I don't know why I worried so much. And I'm going to say here too, I'm saying this only because things I believe happen for a reason.
Mhm.
And if you're considering walking away from something, look at the signs around you. So I left that job in July. I found out in August that my son had a medical condition where it's called sagittal stenatosis, where the the brain, the skull fuses, and it doesn't allow the brain to grow as it should for an infant and a toddler. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's common, but nowadays they put a helmet on the kid
Okay, yeah.
24/7. And after a period of time, a year or two, whatever it is, it's okay. Back then, and I'm talking 19 years ago, they do surgery. So at that moment, I was like, all right, how do I pick a doctor? How do I pick a cosmetic surgeon? Going on
Hmm.
appointments, this, that, and everything, the stress, everything involved. He's only a few months old. And they said you need to do this within a month. So how would I have done that? Waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, continuing that
Right,
job. It
right.
ended for a reason.
Yes.
And, the following month made that decision. It all worked out beautifully. But that there sometimes there's a reason to walk away and we might not even see it at that time.
Right, right. And it all, that worked out. I'm glad your son is well now.
Thank you.
That had to be not only scary, but luckily you were available
Yes, I don't
to
think I
take
could
care of
have done
that.
it. I don't think I would have had the frame of mind and
Hmm.
the mental availability. It's a great word,
Right,
in that
right.
that situation. Um, Other thoughts on walking away?
Well, let's talk about careers because sometimes careers are built from our older version of ourselves.
Mm, yeah.
It's tricky because there's often pride. You worked hard for your career, you
Yep.
became known for your career,
Yep.
and there's this subtle thought that keeps coming back like, I don't think I'd choose this again if I were starting this today.
Mm,
And it doesn't mean you failed, it means you've grown. And growth has a way of quietly asking for new space. Let it resonate,
mm,
let it, think it through because I think we all, when you're in your 30s or, 20, 30s, 40s, you're building your career. It is a version of yourself. 10 years later, 15 years later, you are not that version of yourself anymore. You've outgrown it sometimes. If you don't grow with your job, if your job doesn't grow with you, it's a sign,
mm.
that unless you're comfortable with that, but I don't think most people are.
Thank you for reminding us that we are always evolving, and the things that were with us, people and positions, may not be evolving with us. So we have to take that time to realize those things. And also, when you talk about career, we become our career, but we're
Right.
not.
Yeah,
We're
that's right.
individuals. That's a job we do. People may know you for your job, whatever it might be, but you're you. Your job doesn't define who you are. And it's tough, especially after a number of years, to differentiate that, break that apart. You know
Oh,
what I'm
sure.
saying?
I mean, a lot of your life is spent doing whatever it is that you're doing
Yeah.
every day. And if you're not there, you're probably thinking about it. So it encapsulates your lifestyle and it's a big part of your life. And, it
Mm,
should be. You should be enjoying it and taking it all in. But, if that time comes where you're not enjoying it anymore,
yeah.
or you have grown and it hasn't, or vice versa, that's a time to look in the mirror and say, all right, decisions have to be made.
I will tell you this, going through different career changes and such, I'm going to shoot myself. Should have hired a coach like you.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
I really mean it.
I
You can
appreciate that.
you can talk to friends. You can talk to family. Many times they're going to tell you what you want to hear.
Hmm.
You're not going to
Right.
get an impartial view of the situation to help you better understand it. It's just the
Yep.
way it is. You need it now almost now turns into therapy in a way. You're not a therapist, but in a way, the support is there
Mhm.
when somebody is whispering in your ear and walking you through, everything we're talking about.
Right.
If I heard these things then, it would have been easier, a lot easier. Yeah,
Oh, I know. If we all knew then what we know now.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, um, the other things we walk away from, how about the personal situations?
Friendships that are built on history,
Mm,
not alignment. They are often the hardest to name because nothing happened, nothing traumatic. You just notice the conversations don't go where they used to. The
mm,
connection feels thinner. And instead of forcing it, you start letting distance form naturally without blame, without announcements. And you just let that be enough.
Hmm. Is that uh I'm Irish, so I can say this, at least part Irish. The Irish goodbye, where, kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but when it's time to say goodbye, you just disappear. The Italian goodbye is a long, kiss, hug, will be, oh, you're gonna see you again. It goes on for a period of time. That almost sounds like the Irish goodbye, where you just let it go. You let it kind of take its course, even though you have the history there, but it is different. The relationship is different.
It is different. And, I brought this up because I've been in that situation. I had a very long time relationship, a girlfriend relationship from college roommates. And, it was just time. We had done what we needed to do. And um, I was just done. I didn't want where she was going. I don't think she wanted where I was going. And she
Mm,
had her family, I had my family, and we were just doing our own thing. And it was time.
yeah.
And it was hard because it was many, many, many years. But it was important to do what was important to me. And it felt right. And I have no regrets. I think it was the right decision. And wherever she is, I hope she's well and all is good. And, it was good for her too.
So if she were to reach out to you, been a period of time now, you get a text, you get maybe a phone call, an email, whatever it would be, would you still respond?
I would now. There was a time where I wouldn't because I just wasn't into the confrontation that might come because she's more of a confrontational personality.
Okay.
Now, absolutely. I'm in a place now where sure, absolutely.
Hmm. Do you believe in people in your life for a season or a reason?
Yes, very much so. It took me a long time to see that and
Me too.
recognize it, but I think so for sure because we all change. I mean, certainly I'm not who I was even 5 years ago. So, I think yes, I think people do come, and I think it's important to recognize why, if you're having a conflict, look at yourself and go, why are they in my life? Is this just to help me through this situation? Am I here to help them through a situation?
Hmm.
Why are we in this relationship or friendship or whatever? And then allow it to just evolve.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing when you start looking back at people that were in your life? Yeah, I said were, they might not be here in your life. They exist, but they're not here. How they were there for that reason.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing and I'm not looking for it. It just shows up that 3 years ago, I needed radiation for skin cancer on my face. I don't know if I ever shared this. Um, eh, like it's all healed and everything's great now. It was kind of, it was pretty rough for a month of just radiation every day. I mean, it looked like my face was peeling off,
Oh, geez.
like third degree, like falling off. And I was involved with somebody for a short time. And I remember um, she seeing me and she said, "Oh my gosh, look at your face. Oh, let me help you with that." Ba, 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 ba. She's a nurse. I never put that together until after we were like connected for maybe 5 months. And I supported her in many different ways. But I didn't see it until after, probably a year after. Oh, wait a minute. That had to be why, because she walked that journey with me. And
Yeah.
I don't know what I would
Yeah.
have done if she wasn't around.
Right.
Crazy when you think about it.
That's so true. But the beautiful thing is you recognize that instead of being sad about, well, the relationship didn't work, we've gone different directions. You went, okay,
Hmm.
this worked for this reason, and it was great. And then you move on.
Do you find that as time goes on and you start evolving and you're more aware of these things? Well, I shouldn't say start evolving. We always are. Even if your life is robotic and you do the same thing every day at the same time and you have the same job for many years on and on and on, you're still evolving. You're getting
Right.
older. You have different
Right.
values, standards, et cetera, et cetera. Do you find that as you evolve and maybe you walk away from certain things, you have less and less regret?
Yes,
And I don't mean
definitely.
that in a bad way. I'm not
Right.
saying that,
Right. Oh,
hey,
sure.
blank you, you gone. You're not in my life anymore. Um, you just get to a point where it's time. That was time. That's the way it was supposed to be.
I think that it at least for me, it helped my circle be stronger because the people that are in my life are there as a choice instead of a convenience. And I think it has made me stronger interpersonally because these choices are mine. They're
Mm,
not just there because of quantity, because I'm more quality than quantity.
yep.
And I think that was, it was good for me. And I don't have any sadness if a person, if I don't hear from them for a while. I know that whatever we had at that time was what we had at that time, and they needed to move on. It's not for me to go begging for the information
Hmm.
because I don't want to put them in a situation where they might have to lie to say what I want to hear. So it's just easiest to just let it be.
All that being said, and I agree with you. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago,
Right.
and maybe because of people like you, I start learning things that help move things forward and realizations and understanding and all of that. But do you find that as you evolve, that you have different barometers now, different values, different standards? It's almost as if the the things that you potentially may need to walk away from get filtered through you now in a better way so you can make that decision way easier than, let's say, 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, yes. And it's a lot easier. It doesn't
Right.
take as much time because you don't micromanage it. You don't overthink it so much. You just know it's time. And really, I mean, as I get older, I realize the value of things greater than I did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's easier to make definitive decisions because it's time. I've got these things to do, and this is holding me back, or it's not adding dimension to my life. And I mean, I don't mean to sound shallow, but I mean, it is important for us to all take care of ourselves first, make ourselves a priority. And if it means cutting things or people or situations out of your life, then do it and be confident in it and make it right for yourself.
Truth. Thank you for saying that. It's not shallow, E- but we both. I'm going to say we both thought that years back,
Right?
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Or, that person that's in your life that really, they don't really offer a lot. Maybe they take a little bit too much. You would hang on to them because maybe fear of you want more people around. Maybe, you know, I might need them. They might need
Hmm.
me, or you want to
That's
show
true.
value and all that. And now it's just like, it's no negativity. It's just like,
Right.
meh, all right. Yeah, you're off, in that category, but to the side.
That's a good point you bring up because I find that people keep people in their lives for their own personal advantage. They might have connections that they may need down the line. And I've seen it. And it's unfortunate,
Mm,
but some people don't recognize that in themselves. They're like, well, I'll just, have this dangling just in case.
yeah.
And it's not great, but it is what it is. And but I think if people who hold on to situations for their own good need to reevaluate.
Mm. Well, you think about it, if you are doing that, you're also doing the other person a disservice.
Of course.
Yeah. You
Right.
and them, because if you're even pondering, if you're even thinking about them not really fitting in your life the way they did, and maybe it's time to walk away, maybe it's time to walk away if you're even
Right.
thinking that. And I guess there's different degrees of walking away. Like there was one relationship, somebody I've known for, I don't know, maybe 3 years. They presented a whole different persona and more in the direction where I'm going and am. And then once I started peeling back the layers, it's like, no, you're not. You're not that person. You're not that. What is this? And I didn't walk away, but I put them over to the side.
Right.
You'll still hang every once in a while, but it's not the same, and that's perfectly fine.
Right.
no negativity, no words even. It wasn't even just that's that. No, it's just, less frequent phone calls and things like that. And hey, they haven't said anything, I haven't said anything, and that's okay. That's all right. Yeah.
It's good for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Great
know.
topic today. This is what you do. What's the best way to connect with you?
CindyValente.com is my website, and all my social media links are right there on the website. I'd love to hear, DM me. I'd love to hear what you walked away from, the listeners.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even instant feedback, steve@gmail.com. Knowing it's time to go, it is time to go. Thank you for being here today. And
Thank you.
yeah, bringing on a great topic. Looking forward next time we get together.
Great. Thanks so much,
Appreciate
Steve.
it.
Have
Thanks,
a good
Cindy.
one.
You too.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.